As he was saying, my name is Laura Anthony. I am a second generation zero waster. I have fond memories of my father going through dumpsters and looking for recycling. So it's kind of a passion project for me to continue and to follow in his footsteps. And so, like he said, I am one of the founders of Zero Waste San Diego, and I am now the program coordinator for Save the Albatross Coalition. And here we're going to talk a little bit about an activist point of view of how to solve the marine debris problem, especially plastic bottle caps. So everyone has heard about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, but I'm not sure everyone knows that there's 5 gyres throughout the world. And so this is what a gyre is. It's a whirlpool of water trapping huge collections of trash in the currents. And as you know, the ocean kind of goes in a circle. So when the trash is thrown into the ocean, it kind of accumulates in these locations. And so they become, so the North Pacific Gyre is what the one we're going to talk about today, is equivalent, is the size of Texas. And this is about 3.2 million tons of trash that is just kind of going in a circle like an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and surrounding, this is close to Hawaii, and it's between Hawaii and California. And so this is just kind of an idea of where it is. And so we're talking about the albatross bird. Well, why are we talking about this albatross bird? Is because the albatross bird, the liaison albatross bird, is kind of the canary in the coal mine. They are dying at an aggressive rate, and they're dying of starvation with a full stomach. And if you see these pictures right here, this is what the birds do. They are surface eaters. They look for floating materials. So what floats? Plastic floats. And they're looking for bright and shiny items. So a plastic bottle, like a red plastic bottle, blue plastic bottle, white, looking for squid. That's what they're looking for. And so what they're doing is they're feeding their nestlings. They're putting it out there down their throat, and they're feeding them these plastic bottles. Now, the issue about the nestlings is that they don't have that skill to regurgitate. So they die of starvation with a full stomach. And so as you can see over here, you'll see the carcass of a nestling. That's a baby bird. The full stomach of, looks like bottle caps. Most of it is bottle caps. And this is 200,000 nestlings die each year. Now, Pal just talked about the World Cleanup Day. And these are the things that they cleaned up. This is what we are finding. And bottle caps are the 3rd largest item that is found in these beach cleanups. Now, just imagine what does not come to the surface, or what doesn't come to the sand. What else is out there? And this is actually, these statistics are from the Ocean Conservancy. And the Ocean Conservancy is a nonprofit organization that all of the major beverage containers are part of to help clean up the ocean. Now, as an activist, well, that's nice. Cleaning up is nice, but prevention is important. And so this is what we're talking about today. As an activist, how do we prevent them getting it to the ocean in the first place? How do we solve that problem? Now, marine debris. What is marine debris? Marine debris, it's 70–80% of all the trash in the ocean is plastic. And 80% of the plastic that is found in the ocean comes from the mainland. A lot of people think, oh, it's the boats, it's the shipping containers that fall off into the ocean. Majority of it is litter. It's stuff that's coming through our draining systems from the land going into the ocean. So this is preventable. It's education, but it's preventable. And 90% of all seabirds have ingested plastic. So that is it's a pretty hard thing to take. Now, what our campaign is called Connect the Cat. Now, back in the days, I remember in the 80s, we saw plastic bottles, especially, you'll see some every once in a while, that have a little leash that contains the plastic, the plastic rim to the lid. Now, by providing that simple solution, This can limit the amount of plastic cups that we find in the ocean and on the ground. Now, putting them both together. Now, the issue is that we've heard myths that plastic caps you can't recycle plastic caps with the bottles. That was back in the days. We want you to keep the bottle caps on. They may be two different kinds of materials, but there is a contraption that they created that allows them to separate them and recycle them. So they are totally recyclable. So this is a myth that we need to fix and educate the community that the plastic lids are good. So with this simple solution that we want to do, we're trying to approach the three main companies, and that's Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Nestle. We also want to try to do Crystal Geyser because they're in California, but we want to send them letters. We want to talk to them and say, hey, let's work together and come up with a solution, and you be the heroes that we need in the world. We need you to be those people to solve this problem so that we can help clean up our oceans and prevent this trash in there. Now, so the solutions, how can we do this? We need to just redesign the product. That's one thing. In order to find out what companies are the culprits, we have to create a brand audit, kind of like what Pal was saying, separate everything and identify those products, those brands that you can see. I mean, if you go to the ocean, to the beach, and you see a green straw, you know right away that's Starbucks. Those are brand audits. Those are ones that we identify, okay, that's a Starbucks product. Creating a hashtag, does this belong to you? Take a picture, put it on Instagram. Hey, Starbucks, does this belong to you? These are ways to get those brands to notice, well, we don't want to be associated with litter. Exactly. So let's be the heroes that you need to help us solve this problem. It is producer responsibility. The way to get anything solved is through grassroots organization, and letter writing campaigns is a huge thing. Back in the 90s, we sent plastic bottles back to Coca-Cola in Georgia with little notes in it saying, we put a stamp on it because anything with a stamp could be mailed through the system. We love your product, but we hate your packaging. It's the same type of thing. We want to let them know we love your product, but we want you to work on creating a better system in order not to litter so much. Another way to do this is make it a law. We're trying to talk to California, to legislation, to try to connect the caps, product responsibility, producer responsibility as part of a law in California. Another option is break free from using plastics altogether. But plastics are here. We need to try to prevent the litter. So these are some activist solutions on what we can do. Other one, which is it's courageous. You have to have courage to do this, but public nuisance lawsuits is what we call it is death by 1,000 cuts. These are small little things. It could be, I just talked to their attorney because I couldn't figure out what the price was, but this is what she said. In California state court, it costs $435 to file a civil nuisance lawsuit in San Diego Superior Court for unlimited damages over $25,000. It costs between $30 to $75 to file in a small claims, depending on the amount that has been claimed. So the idea is to get all the municipalities on the coast of Oregon, Washington, California, to file these small claims courts, these public nuisance lawsuits to these three companies, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Nestle. If we have 30 cities filing these lawsuits, this may wake them up. One, maybe not. They'll just give us money and they'll say, oh, okay, do your beach cleanup. But 30 to 50 to 100 lawsuits, small claims like this will actually notice this is a death by 1,000 cuts. This could be a very productive way of changing things, but it takes a lot of courage from the cities, the municipalities, to file against them. And the remedies would be to order to clean up the mess or pay to have it cleaned up. The penalties would be criminal penalties, unfair business practice damages. And if they sue, the only real charges are the civil penalties and the attorney fees. And this is something that would be really cool to see happen. And so that was just a really quick presentation. As an Anthony, I am blessed with speed and the gobshite. So I have, and that's it. If you want to be part of this this organization or this campaign, my information is up here.